TV, it's the instant match reaction for Everton 2, Gor Mahia. Mahia? 1.
Yes.
In the Tanzania National Stadium. And you know, we were all pretty excited to see this game. We were all excited. Wayne Rooney was starting. Nice to see Aaron Lennon back on the pitch. Martin Stecklenberg and his amazing hair in goal. It's just nice for retain of football, but we got a little bit extra, let's just say. A little bit extra badge, and the game started quite slow. We were quite slow for a lot of people because they couldn't see it. Yeah, technical problems, they seem to happen every summer with Everton, and it's pre-season. Started quite slow. Wayne Rooney's playing up front on his own, quite isolated. And
nothing really changed in the first 20 minutes. Yeah, it was just like, listen, it's the first game, and you'd expect the rustiness, and you'd expect the slow tempo, especially in the heat of, you know, over there. But yeah, you know, he was up on his own, like down the middle. Centre fireworks. Good touch. Nice to see. Good hold up play from Rooney. Good first, like say, centre forward, a good first touch. But again, I think we've got to get players closer to him. If he's going to play, and we know that he probably isn't going to play that role, but there might be times he's needed to play that role. And if that's the case, we need to get people around him, because what was really evident was his link-up play, which was very good. You know, the one-touch stuff, or as, like you say, his hold-up play, switching the play. But the best came after 30-odd minutes.
No, you're right. Well, what I liked more than anything was he just fitted straight in. It didn't even feel like a new signing. It felt like quite natural that he was out there playing in Everton kit, even though he's been playing in the Man United kit for 13 years. It felt quite natural. It didn't feel, even though every time I see him in an Everton shirt, I still go, he's in an Everton shirt, but it still felt quite natural to see him. And what he did for the opening goal was just pure Wayne Rooney. You know, pure Wayne Rooney. Nice little work on the left hand side from Lookman. As you said, Wayne was always available for the ball. At times he was giving the ball and people were wasting it. He was giving him the eyes, going, this needs to improve. And as soon as he got the ball, you could see him open himself up. And even you look at this picture, is that a perfect Wayne Rooney poise for it? You know, you go back to 2002. You know, October 2002, when he scores his first Premier League goal for Everton, and that's exactly the body shape, nearly exactly the body shape. A little bit more hair then, a little few less wrinkles then, but exactly. And it just sailed past the keeper, and it was brilliant because, I mean, obviously we got overexcited, but why not? Why not get overexcited, friendly or not?
You got a bit more overexcited than me.
Play to the camera, kid. Play to the camera.
No, listen, it's fantastic. Like you say, the touch. Lookman does really well. Looks like he's lost it a couple of times. Keeps it, slips it through the lad's legs. His first touch is instant. It's out of his body. There's no scrambling for his second touch. And he has a look, and people running, and they don't expect it, and he opens. And that is, if you had to depict the Wayne Rooney shot, how he hits the ball, that is it. And he's just hit it from 25 yards right in the top corner, and that's what he brings, that extra bit of quality. And the reason why you jump off his seat is because we don't see that very often, you know. And I know, listen, it's a friendly, and he might not get that time in the Premier League. But let's be honest, he's been doing that in the Premier League for 15 years now, or whatever it is. So it was just great. It was a great way to welcome himself back in his first goal, albeit not competitively, but his first goal back in an Everton shirt, and it's an absolute cracker.
It took the pressure off us, you know, if there was any pressure, even though I don't think there is that much pressure, but what it does is, that goal straight away, bang, everywhere. Everywhere, you know, okay, it's Thursday afternoon, but bang, it's everywhere. People are tweeting it, people are, you know, Everton are getting it out there straight away. Sky Sports News straight away, Wayne Rooney scores, you know, everyone is banging it out there straight away. It'll be everywhere tonight. Everyone will be showing this goal tonight, I promise you, even if you're in America. I bet you it's on Sports Centre Plays of the Day. I bet you it's one of the top 10.
It's been on NBC.
Yeah, it'll be everywhere. It'll be everywhere, this goal tonight. And it keeps that story rolling. And it keeps those shirts, and everyone will want that shirt with the number 10 on it. Keeps that all going nicely, keeping over, keeps it. It's brilliant. In typical Everton fashion, you know, it only takes a minute or two, and you know, the equaliser comes pretty much straight away. Which is typical Everton fashion. They get themselves back in on for a really nice header from a corner. Wasn't great marking by Connolly, not much Stecklenberg can do, but they're back in the side, and suddenly from being a very sort of drab first opening 35 minutes, suddenly the game come to life a little bit, which was good. It's what was needed, and I think, you know, for the players out there and for the spectators. Yeah,
it was a really good header. Get a corner, don't they? It's not the greatest bit of play to get a corner, and then the lad just runs off Connolly, just makes a run across the 6-yard box to the corner. Connolly's got to get tighter with him, but it's a really good header from the position. Stecklenberg, at first you go near post, but when you watch it again, there's nothing you can do about it. It's a really good header, you know, and it gives them a lift, like you say. It's good for the crowd, and that kind of thing is important, I think, because it gives you something to work on as well.
Yeah.
You know, how cheap was that goal? Like, how do we stop that? Everyone stay alive, you know, and I suppose it's good to be at that from day one.
Yeah.
To realise that you're playing opposite, and it's okay in training, because they've only been doing light training and stuff this week. It's good to do that, but you know, it's the competitiveness. I mean, the first half, it's good to see Davy Clarkson up there for the first time. He was neat and tidy on the ball. Obviously, you know, it's not our first 11, so it's hard sometimes to judge different players, isn't it? But I thought he done well. He ran around and got involved. He got better as it went on. He got more involved, likes to put himself about, and then obviously we saw in the second half, we saw when, you know, all the changes made. We got to see Michael Keane as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, first half, Everton, end of the first half, Everton made 11 changes. Both the likes of Baines on, both Keane came on, played at centre back with Besic, which I thought was interesting. Besic played quite well, actually. Gareth Barry came on with Garner, and then but there's loads of fresh legs in there as well. Pennington playing right back, Davies playing, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Kieran Dowell was playing. There's loads of legs in there. Morales was playing, and I think they left most of their players on. They made changes during the second half, because I think for them, I know it's a friendly, but to them it was a really big sort of spectacle, wasn't it? You know, they'd won this tournament to get the chance to play against the Premier League team. You know, they were only over the border in Kenya, so lots of their fans would have come over to the
stadium. It was a good crowd.
Yeah, it was a good crowd, really good crowd. The only place that there wasn't people was where there was a bit of sunlight, which I can imagine was really hot, like at 5 o'clock. But funny enough, and as that sun disappeared and that went to night, the game came to life a little bit. And maybe the heat wasn't as bad. There was a lot more fresh legs from us, certainly. And straight away, second half, we were at it. Tom Davies straight in there.
15 seconds, he'd
nearly won a penalty.
Nearly got a penalty. It's what you want to see. I've seen a lot of people tweeting possible starting lineups and things like that, and he's never in them.
Yeah. And
you look and go, he's one of our best players last season. Yeah. So he'll be determined to you know, if Ronald Koeman's going to leave him out, he's going to get the first opportunity he gets to get back in. He's going to be snapping at your heels, and that's what we need. We need competition for players. We need good quality. We need players wanting to play in this Everton side. For too many years, and finances dictated it, but for too many years, you felt as though there was a 12, 13, and he kind of knew who was playing, and they look over to the bench and it was my guy Gay and, you know, Velios and people like that. No, but when you if you go back over history, that's what it was, wasn't it? And now you look and you go, there's some players here. There's players who haven't even joined. You know, you almost forget about Sandro Ramirez because you haven't seen anything. You know, he's not been in any training gear. You know, we've seen the pictures when he signed. We've not seen him with the ball. You know, he's got to come back in. We've got Holgate to come back into the squad who hasn't been in. Jordan Pickford. Yeah. You know, our keeper's not. We've not seen anything of him. So there's players there as well still to come in. Obviously, there's moves for other players. The competition is getting a lot stronger now, and it can only make everybody respond, and that's what we saw second half. You know, we saw Davis, we saw Garner getting around the pitch, putting tackles in. Mo Besic, like you rightly said, he looked very good, very comfortable at centre back. He's played there before. Michael Keane, I thought, was excellent. I thought he'd done everything.
Eased his way in.
Eased his way in. Should have scored. A bit disappointed with himself that he didn't score. But he looked very good and assured. But I said to you, 10 minutes into the second half, you kind of forget about Keane now, because obviously Wayne Rooney's took all the spotlight, and I suppose for them players that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it, for those players? Sandro can come in as, you know, our number 9, and there's very little pressure on him. I mean, don't get me wrong, when the Premier League season starts there will be a pressure to score, but the likes of Davy Klaassen, you look at him and you just go, he just played today, and I didn't bat an eyelid. He's just playing. No one's looking at him. A couple of
years ago, you'd have been like, what's he got? Everyone would have been looking. Today, he was just like...
He's a £25 million player. Yeah. But no one, you're not even looking at him, because your eyes are on Wayne Rooney. But, you know, second half, I think, you know, it helped that we had the fresh legs, and obviously those combative players in midfield. And as you mentioned there, Tom's great because he just wants it, doesn't he? Doesn't matter what game it is, he wants it. He wants to win that ball first. So I thought he was a bit sloppy at times. You can see the rustiness, obviously, but you know, the actual competitive. Dominic Calvert-Lewin played up front, and we were talking about on the watch on. What I thought was good about Dominic Calvert-Lewin was it was a completely different style to the way Wayne Rooney played first half. Wayne Rooney dropped in deep. Everything was into feet. It was in. It was out. It was Dominic Calvert-Lewin was an option to go long, and he did quite well at that. I mean, obviously he's only a young lad and he's still learning, but the option was there, and it gives you that idea of what Ronald Koeman wants out of his centre forwards. He wants somebody who can play up there at times, who can be that player who will just hold the ball up. I mean, Rooney done it in the first half, but he did it in a different way. But sometimes you just got to throw a ball up and hope it sticks. And I thought Calvin
had the one where he chested it off to Garner, and the keeper makes a really good save, and that was what he was showing, what he's about. He can win it in the air, he can jump up and shield it and chest it down. He looks a lot happier down the middle as well, rather than shoehorned. I mean, I'll be amazed if we see him shoehorned out wide this season, given the options we now have in those areas. But he looks, you know, he's learning his trade. He's only 20, come from Sheffield United. You know, he played a lot of games last season that he probably didn't expect to. So it's good for him. You know, Kevin Morales in and out, which is what he kind of does, doesn't it? So he's got to pick that little bit of sharpness up.
But that is sharpness,
isn't it? That's all it's about, isn't it?
It's only a fit, but but it's nice to see all the options. And obviously, we had loads of chances second half. We had like 3 or 4. The keeper made a few sort of dodgy saves, and there was scrambles off the line, and obviously we had
a goal disallowed.
There's nothing wrong with it. Kieran Dowell smashed one off the bar. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed a decent chance himself. So we were putting the pressure, and they really run out of legs second half, which suited us perfectly. And obviously, we were talking about the watch, and you said he was going to get the next goal. I thought Dominic Calvert-Lewin was just going to get one, but you know, you mentioned Kieran Dowell there, who we watched a lot of in the under-23s last year, and he did what he typically did for the under-23s. He just got the ball, got it out of his feet, and just spanked one. And it was still rising when it hit the back of the net. It was an absolutely fantastic strike, and it was great that we got through. We won the game, and it doesn't mean anything, but it does, because those shots will be beamed around the world tonight. Wayne Rooney scores this goal. Now imagine if it had been Wayne Rooney scores this goal, but Everton got beat 2-1. It just takes the edge off it, even though it doesn't mean anything. Even though we know it doesn't mean nothing to the rest of the world. It's like sort of thing. Yeah. But it's not. It's Everton win the game when Wayne Rooney scores this goal, and everyone's going, Wayne, oh, brilliant. You know, who's that? I like that kit, whatever. With things we talk about all the time, these important PR things. I thought it was dead interesting that Everton got the goal out like official. I know there was like loads of little videos of the goal, but Everton got the official goal out straight away. Bang that round, lads. Get that out to the world. Get that trending on Twitter. You know, here it is. We've given it to you. They got it on. I noticed they got it on YouTube as well, straight away. While the game was still ongoing, get it out there. Get it viral on YouTube. Get it trending. Get it. That's where we've been missing a trick in the last few years. But I noticed during the game we didn't. It was out there. It was interesting. Obviously, someone run on the pitch and give, Man United top and give Wayne a hug, which I thought was quite interesting, but also a little bit like, And then at the end of the game, you've seen the amount of security around him, and obviously he's the major draw. There was loads of Man United shirts in the crowd. We've seen that. There's Everton shirts, Man United shirts. So he is the major draw. We appreciate that. I was just a bit worried at the end, just see with all this. I was like, are they ours? Can you just make sure they're our security? But it is all about him, and as we've said on previous videos about Wayne Rooney, you've got to go with that. You don't have to worry about how it affects other people or does other people feel left out. We've got a true global star playing for us now that transcends the football club, whether we like it or not. You know, no one's bigger than the club, but in terms of markability, I just thought this showed a lot of it, and you'll see a lot of this tonight, how this goal is projected around the world.
Well, he is bigger than the club to other people.
PR-wise?
Never bigger than the club.
No, of course he isn't.
Nobody is, because we're fans, and there's no player, quite rightly so, bigger than the football club. His brand, if you want to break it down to those terms, is bigger than our football club. His reach, and everyone wants a piece of him. So it's fantastic that we did win the game, and he scored a perler of a goal. Just back to Dowell, the reason why I called Dowell was because for that reason, exactly what we've said, is that left foot, he's got so much ability in it, and he did put a little bit more into it. He had those pockets of where he wasn't in the game for 10 minutes, and for him to become part of this squad, the ability is there. There's no question about it. The ability is there, but there's that thing that Ronald Koeman tweeted last year, you know, ability without hard work, or whatever it is, whatever the phrase was. There's no point having it if you don't match it up with the hard work. If he can get a little bit more devilment into his game and a little bit more hard work, and he should be part of this squad, because that left foot is incredible.
The thing about it is, and it's hard to get this over to people, it's not that he doesn't work hard, as in he's lazy. He just coasts through games.
He's on the periphery of the game too many times. The game will go by and he will just be in his position, whereas...
But the thing is, his position doesn't allow him to do that, because he's not someone who can just, like, he's not a number 10 who can just play off the game. But he's plays, like, when he plays in positions where you're like, no, you've got to be at it a little bit more for the sake of the rest of the team.
He probably is a number 10. He's probably an ideal number 10, because he's got all the ability.
Old-fashioned number 10.
He flicks and tricks, and he's got that, like I say, in them areas where he picks that ball up and hits it, that'd be devastating in the Premier League. But to get into that position, you've got to force your way into the manager's thinking, and the only way you're going to force your way into this man is that, to be fair, if he does that again, Koeman will think, alright, we've got to do more than that, because you've got to say to Ronald Koeman, I can do that job that you... Like Calvert-Lewin did last year. Calvert-Lewin isn't technically as good as the likes of Kevin Morales or Delafeu or players like that, but last year he said to the manager, through his actions, I'll run up and down all day if you want me to, just to play in this team. And if it means I'm not in attacking areas like I want to be, so be it, because I want to show you can trust me, and that's what Dowell is.
Well, and I also think he's the kind of player who, like he needs to fit into it, and everyone needs to know what his job is, and he needs to know what his job is, rather than just sort of flitting in and out of the team. Whereas, like in the under-23s last year, he had a job, and I think because of the way he plays, other people around him will fill in for the bits that he doesn't do, because they appreciate what he does give. I mean, we were at games where we just go like, what's he doing? Bang, get up, bang, top corner. He's won them the game, or he's got that third goal or something. And that's really important. So maybe as he gets a little bit more, it's hard. I appreciate it's harder for him. Tom Davies comes in, he's an all-action midfielder. He's everywhere. He can do everything. You've got someone like John Joe Kenny can come in. He'll go to a right back. He can just play right back. He doesn't have to worry. His job's very up and down. Kieran Dowell it's a bit more difficult because of all the different facets of what he has to do.
You've got to catch the manager's eye. You've got to catch the coaching staff's eye. You can't... Listen, on Twitter, on social media, fans in the pub, we'll all turn around and go, not good enough for him, he's shite him, he's this him, he's that him. They're all professional footballers, they're all very good footballers. There's levels, of course there is, and there'll be players who get higher than other ones, should never be higher than other ones, because their ability's nowhere near that level, but they work 2 or 3 times as hard. But if you're trying to get yourself into a first team frame at Everton Football Club nowadays, where there's money to go and buy players, then you have to do more than what you're doing. He's not been involved. He wasn't involved at any time last season, and he should have been, because there was times when we didn't have any options. We were bringing a Runa Coney back, and Kieran Dowell would have been a better option.
I think I just think that the manager probably looked at him early on the season, and for what the
Well, he was involved pre-season.
He was, and he was involved in like launching the third kit, I remember. But I think what's important, I think the manager probably looked at it and just thought, from what I'm doing right now, I can't afford you like a passenger kind of player. And maybe this year with more games, hopefully, he will get more time.
But he will have to get in and work.
Oh yeah, he'll have to.
This team will only work on hard work because that's how the manager works. So, but he works just as hard.
But ultimately, the whole thing. You know, it's a good win. It's a good run out. It is just a pre-season game, but it looks like it's been a really good endeavour. Obviously, the whole thing was set up because of the sponsor, and let's be honest, the sponsor have had their money's worth in the last week.
They wouldn't have envisaged this at the time.
They have hit the jackpot.
And he's listened to his first goal in an Everton kid. He's got Sport Pez all over.
The other team got Sport Pez on.
They've got it. The picture. This image will be everywhere. So
scored in the Sport Pez Super Cup. Sport Pez are like that.
They're living the dream.
Like that.
But no, from a whole PR perspective, it's been absolutely fantastic. There's been Everton have done some great little videos, and we've seen the reaction, you know, of people, the reaction to Yannick Bolasie and that kind of stuff. And I think it's really, really good for Everton to have done that. But you know, the game itself, it didn't matter, but it's nice to win it because even though it's a war, you know, to run out, it doesn't really matter. You want to keep that good feeling going. We've had a good week, good stories coming out of the club, more to come, and we've ended up with him scoring the first goal. We've won the game, and it's now like let's get back home, regroup before they go off to Holland. Yeah, but off to Holland next week. Obviously, the European draw as well, and find out exactly who we're playing, where we're going, and what level of competition that is as well, and and that might sort of not dictate, but just you know, give the manager ideas for what he needs to do in maybe in these 2 games in preparation for that first game. Because even though it's, you know, people look at it and go, whoever we get, nah, it's still going to be, you know, what it is, isn't it? You know, the players have got to jump level very, very quickly. Listen, in terms of the Europa League, we saw West Ham last year. We saw West Ham for 2 seasons on the run. Say haven't been drawn against the Albanian farmers, as they called them, and they dumped them out twice. So there's Rangers have already gone out. There is pitfalls, and we have to, if we approach it, and I'm sure we will, but if we approach it professionally, then we'll get the job done and we'll move on to what we should do. But you know, it will be tough because we are starting a little bit earlier than what we would have liked. I mean, last time we had to qualify under David Moyes, we ended up beating that side 5-1 account, but Rodwell scored a screamer at home. We won 4-0 at home. But we were a bit further on in our pre-season, so it'll be tough. But it's a good start and it's a good trip and it's out the way. You know, get them home and then we can reassess and get ready.
I think it'll go like the real hard work will start. I mean, again, this week will probably been a little bit of all the testing and all that kind of thing, and then now the travel. Get them down, get them into the games in Holland and Belgium, and start working them hard and start getting a better idea of who does what and where players playing and how it's all going to figure out, which we'll find out in the coming weeks, and obviously with the European games coming thick and fast as well. So yeah, let us know your thoughts on this game. Good 2-1 win, a couple of fantastic goals, great PR, I can't stress that enough, great PR. I know people are probably sick of me talking about PR, but I think that's huge at the moment, that we get everything out of this signing that we can, while everyone is still lapping it up, and it's and we keep it going, and hopefully in the next few days and weeks we get more signings, and we keep it all going. Happy days. Let us know in the comments your thoughts. Thank you for watching Toffee TV. We will see you later.